how they are managing, and simultaneously these particular tools helping to the all the aggregation of the big data, how it is helping to the libraries, how it is helping to the bank, how it is helping to the various corporate institutions. I know this data we discussed in earlier classes. Usually, with the support of various digital, big data tools, how the data will segregating, how the data will dividing, put into the specific format. That particular format will help to the users who really requires particular data. No, I said, regarding these particular data is, every day how much of the data is producing. These particular data is which one is, belongs to the so today now we are going what resources it contain the institutional repository, whether it is published, unpublished, grey literature, what it contains the institutional repositories, what are the national level institutional repositories, and what are the benefits for that, and what are the hardware and software, what are the requirements for that, and simultaneously electronic resources, what is the meaning of electronic resources, how it is helping to the research. Particular of their particular databases are then put into their particular website. These following institutional repositories are maintaining by the one specific softwares. What it is actually institutional repository, who are going to the contributor for the institutional repository means those who are working in that particular institution, they are going to contribute the resources, either a article, either a book, either a report, whether that particular content which is published or unpublished. Before going to published also, they are put into they are going to put into their works in the particular website. Or if the copy is published in that particular document, they are going to put into the public domain. I mean that particular repository. Or sometimes they are going to add into the videos, audios, survey reports, or project reports, or we can say that whatever the content data they are put into the repository, that we can say that institutional repositories. Institutional repository who are going to contribute means, I said, those who are working with their particular institutions, either a researcher, either a scientist, either a student, either a faculty member, are going to contribute the content. That we can say that the following content is going to contributed by the following members, those who are working in that particular institution. Sometimes this particular institutional repository is going to repository is going to put into the public domain, or put into the open access, anyone can access, or sometimes they are going to put some restrict, isn't it? If restrict, we supposed to pay the money and we have to access it. They are put into the public domain. It's open access. Anyone can access the resources of those particular institution. What is the help for this particular institutional repository? These institution is produced this much of the data, either a book, either a journal, either a article, either a survey report, either a patent, either a copyright, either a trademark, either a video, either a audio, either project reports, whatever it may be. These will help to the coming generation, and simultaneously those who really working on that, it is useful to those particular people. For these particular institutional repository will help to the those particular persons. Sir, there are national level institutional repositories and state level institutional repositories, inter level institutional repositories are available with us. But some, I said, it's a open, some restricted. Restricted means we supposed to pay, or we supposed to access some open access also it is there. uh, and institutional and sometimes these institutional repository we can say research output. That's what I said. The researcher, whatever the contribution, the scientist, whatever the contribution, the faculty members, whatever the contribution, the students, whatever the contributions, that we can say that's what an institutional research output of self self archiving, and to create a global visibility. That means in the globe anyone can access these particular resources, can visible to the globe for scholarly research. And also sometimes it is preserved to the institutional digital assets. The assets may include unpublished, that we can say that published or unpublished gray literature content, either a thesis, technical reports, and teaching material, PowerPoint presentations, recording, historic events, survey reports. I said in the audio reports, there are various forms that we can put into the this particular institutional archiving. And this really institutional repository, this is for the promoting the open access, isn't it? Promoting the open access. Usually what happened, you know the scholarly general system which gives the unfair advantage to the commercial publishers. If really commercial publishers are giving the quality of the research article or quality of the journal, if he is going to give the really scholarly communication information, we supposed to pay for the money. If the we are going to give the open access to the these particular scholarly content, that we can say that articles, journals, and whatever it may be, that anyone can access. That's what we said, global visibility or global accessibility, or we can say that global usability. That means if it is open access, anyone can access the resources from your institutional repository. Anyone can visible from the your institutional repository. Anyone can use the resources from the your institutional repository. That's what a commercial publisher may not give the that much of quality of the scholarly content, but these open access may give the scholarly content to the really required users. So the purpose, we can say that reasons for the establishment of an institutional repository. Uh, you know there are nowadays whatever the research content, scientist content, or faculty content, what they are doing, everything they are put into the public domain. Why don't you, those persons are working with us, why don't you keep it their resources in our institutional repository? So that's whatever the digital output of their researcher or scientist, then put into the public domain within these particular institutional repository. And users demand accessing the institutional content online. Most of the people, most of the researchers or students or scholars or whatever it may be, they are accessing the resources from the institutional. And to provide the platform, sharing the these particular institutional repository, it's a platform
It's a one type of platform sharing their resources, sharing of their particular institutional resources to the other person. Other person means who really require these particular resources. And also digital content services in the library. And when we are going to, and no need to, there are n number of digital library softwares are available in the market. And also you can we can say that in future your institution, your college or your research institution, when they are going to face the NAC or highest authority bodies are coming to inspect you, at that time you can say that the following digital resources are available with us. The faculty members are produced the following resources. Resources means our faculty members are published an article and published a book, and they given a content to the Swayam MOOC, and that we can say that whatever the resources which we are collecting and preserving in our institutional repository, that tomorrow we can say that our library also having a digital content and digital resources. And we are actually what we are doing with the institutional repository, we are collecting the data from the our faculty members, our institutional members, and we are collecting that means we can say the gathering and preserving and disseminating by these particular institutional repository. And we can say that to support the open access movement, just I said these the institutional repository, we are directly supporting to the open access movement, act as the institutional community and a digital research material. And we can say that preserving the digital content also, to provide the perpetual access to the digital collection, wider accessibility or interoperable to the content. That means when we are going to put into the our content into the institutional repository, wider accessibility. That's what we said. We said global accessibility, global visibility, global usability. That means wider n number of people they may access of your resources. Automatically, day before yesterday class, we what we discussed. Whenever your article, whenever your work, somebody is going to use, somebody is going to access, somebody is going to download, somebody is going to use in their research work, automatically the statistics will count. So your work is number of people if they are using your work, that we can say that your work is ultimately good. Number of citations coming, number of statistics coming, views coming, downloads are coming, all are we can say that's a part and parcel of the bibliometrics metrics I said. The same thing, institutional repositories are also helping to the such type of ethical works and the characteristics of institutional repository. What are the characteristics required means no, I said we are collecting the data and storing and preserving and disseminating the information. It contributed to the scholarly communication who really require these particular data. And sometimes I said just we discussed it is open, interoperability, and primary goal to the institutional repository to disseminate the institutional or intellectual output, or we can say that institutional research output, or that we can say that institutional research output and intellectual output. And simultaneously we can say that institutional scholarly communication network, scholarly communication output also we are giving with these particular institutional repository. And another one is it is cumulative, perpetual. That means once the item are submitted, it should not be withdrawn. When we are going to whatever the data content which you are going to upload, we are going to put into the public domain, we cannot uh, uh, we could withdrawn. And also this carries with a long term obligation that we can show that these particular content to those who are going to it is not happen in the commercial publishers directly. Whatever the work we are going to put into the our institutional repository. Our quality of work we are directly put into the institutional repository. That means, quality and directly we are accessing without paying the money. Quality of the content we are accessing from these particular institutional repositories. So these are the features. And come to the institutional repository collections. What type of resources we can put into the institutional repository? We can put into the book, white paper, research data, thesis, dissertation, work in progress, and journal articles, and preprints and postprints. Do you know what is the meaning of preprints and postprints? చెప్పండి, what is the meaning of preprint and postprint? వన్ సైడ్ మాట్లాడదు, మీరు కూడా ఏదో చెప్పాలి. హలో,
పబ్లిష్ కాకముందు ఆన్లైన్లో యాక్సెస్ చేసుకొని తర్వాత చెక్ యూజ్ చేసేది ప్రీ ప్రింట్ సార్.
ఓకే. పోస్ట్ ప్రింట్ మీన్స్
ఆఫ్టర్ కంప్లీషన్ ఆఫ్ peer review, we can use that, sir. They are given access, sir.
Yes, exactly. Preprints means before going to publish our article, our book, or our content, whatever it may be, put into the public domain, that we can say that it's a preprints. Post prints after publication of our content also, the original content we can keep into the, or we can put into the our institutional repository, that we can say that post prints. And the journal articles, technical reports, I said, image collections and teaching and learning materials. And today, most of the, after pandemic, most of the faculty members, what they are doing, huge, most of the classes they are taking by the online classes or PowerPoint presentations, or we can say that video classes, or we can say that by the Zoom and whatever class teaching, Google class, Google teaching, and just like that, various type of the content we are producing, whatever the tool, we can say that that all data keep into the public domain, or we can say that in the institutional repository. These type of the data are having in the institutional repository collections. And what are the institutional repository policies? When one particular institution or library is going to establishing a repository, we chalk out the a plan. We can say that actually what are the policies required, what are the architecture required, what are the scope and the purpose, and how many purpose means to whom it is really going to help, and scope how much of the data we are going to add, and the repository of the what type of data we are going to put, or content, how much of the content we are going to put into, submission of the formalities, preservation formats, or we can say that metadata policies. And when we are going to put into the institutional repository, do you have any copyright problem, that we have to discuss. And access formalities, sometimes we are not giving for total data, it's not open access, some data only we are going to give, or sometimes we are going to embargo period they are going to give, various policies are having. And sometimes institutional repository software is required, what are the hardware is required, what are the software is required, connectivity is required, how many people are we can access, internet servers are working or not, and all, whether the data is cloud storage or server storage, whether any legal aspects, any problems we are going to face, and standards and sustainability of the funding provisions, and technical literacy is required for the users and simultaneously managers. And these all are policies are having with the institutional repositories. And come to the institutional repository access and use. Usually the articles from the publisher may require publisher is having license is required, or that's why we are supposed to pay, and we are subscription For that, we are accessing the resources for the when we are going to subscribe the resources. But institutional repository is not like that. And that even though what happened, copyright policies is required, or we can say that restrict the access, or it is open to all. Sometimes only a research group or some what they will do is, whatever the content it will gives to only researchers, only faculty members, only scientists, not to the common people. So sometimes it provides access bibliographical citations. It's total abstract only they will give free, not total text. Sometimes it will give full text. And of course, sometimes creative commons problems and holding rights regarding, because I produce this data, why we are going to give the free. So these are the policies, how to access, how to use. These are the policies are required in the institutional repository. Technical consideration, I said just, before going to upload the data, or we can say that store the data, whether it is cloud storage or any there have any legal problems or legal aspects in the standards and sustainability, whether having proper funding or not, whether they have any technical report, technical knowledge it is there or not, practical details it is required, what type of files you are going to submit, whether that file is supporting to the software or not. Sometimes we are going to the whether it is having metadata and security issues, and many things. When we are going to do the practicality, at the time we only knows theory, we can say that these are the problems we are facing, we can say that, come to the practicality, there are a lot of problems are also there in the an institutional repository, though though it is a problems, it is also it is there, but thing is institutional repository, it is one of the wonderful scenario in the present situations. We can say that we can manage by the various digital library softwares. It's a open source softwares, and paying softwares, we can say that they have. But thing is, now we are going to discuss about the as per your curricula, they given a two open source software. One is DSpace software, another one is ePrint software. DSpace is developed by the, I think everyone, MIT libraries, HP labs. It was started in the year of 2002, November 2002. So it is easy to install, and we can say that now needs of the particular needs of the institution, we can gather the information, we can store, we can preserve it, with the metadata, including the access and the configuration and all those things. It will work, and it will support the use of the PostgreSQL and Oracle databases. The total data we are going to put into the uh, Java oriented data, and we can say that uh, members of this community, developers, share their experience in online forums. Also, you can check it. Uh, these it is, this space is free. It is one of the most demand open source digital library software. Another one is ePrints. ePrints also, it is also one type of institutional repository software developed by the University of Southampton, from the UK. It is a stable and flexible innovative repository service across to the academic institutions. It is also open source digital library repository platform. It's a open access. It's a support, of course, whatever the open source digital library softwares are supporting to the open access movement. It provides access to the collection, preservation, dissemination, and reporting to the services of the any institutions. That we can say the software is optimized for the Google Scholar. We can configure it, the reprints, request buttons. There are wonderful options. It is there in the ePrints also. So these are the institutional repository digital library open source software. Of course, there are a number of open source softwares also is there. Now we are going to discuss about the institutional repository in science and technology. Um, you take example of the directory of open access repository. That we can say that open DOAR, open DE, open DOAR. That means directory of open access repository. What it is actually, what it is contained means directory of open access repository. Whatever the open access repository is having the total directory, that we can say that directory of open access repository. It's indexed 4143 repositories from various regions in the world, and USA tops list in the 575 repositories, UK 284, Germany 237, Japan 235, India 86 repository, that placed in the 16th position in the world ranking. Uh, and what happened here? The data which is given by the as of June 2029, 2019, I mean 2019. So better you take latest data which is available online. You can go and you can collect it from the and write it down in the current data. That is helpful to you. And come to the in national level, that we can say that India wide. Uh, you take example of the institutional repository of NAL. That means national level, we can aerospace science and technology. National Aerospace Laboratory, which is located at Bangalore. It is the one of the oldest institutional repository. Another one is Indian Academy of Science. This is also wonderful and open access repository publication. The Indian Academy of Science, it attempts to collect and preserve and disseminate the intellectual output of those particular institutions. Those particular institutions mean Indian Academy of Science publication. It follows and peer-reviewed journals. As of June 2019, the repository has 106,351 items. And now it is by the ePrint software. You can access it. Another one is DRSNIO. That means digital repository services of NIO, National Institute of Oceanography, which is located at Goa. The same thing, it is also having 8100 items and running under DSpace software. It hosts one of the largest scientific collections in India. The same thing, ePrint CFTRI. Do you have any idea about Hyderabad is having any CFTRI branch? CFTRI branch హైదరాబాద్ లో ఒకటి ఉంది. ఎక్కడ ఉంది, ఏమైనా ఐడియా ఉందా అండి? సెంట్రల్ ఫుడ్ టెక్నాలజీ రీసెర్చ్ ఇన్స్టిట్యూషన్, CFTRI, అప్సిగూడలో ఉండింది ఒకటి. అర్థమైందా? అర్థమవుతుందా? We come to the e-resources and their challenges. What is the meaning of the e-resources? Today, we can say that there are n number of data is available in the market, which rapid growth use of electronic resources, and everyone feels that so electronic resources is convenient, electronic resources is comfortable, electronic resources are useful to the and the users. They feel that. So that's what most of the users, that we can say that an academician, that we can say that um, uh, and scientists and research scholars, and we can say the faculty members, students, they are depending, we can say that comfortable, they feel comfortable with the electronic resources. So library users also, they feel that it is easy to access, it is compactable, that it is it is pinpointed, and they feel that an electronic resources are very useful to the common users. And we feel that really uh, uh, electronic resources are useful, or of course there are lack of challenges also, it is there, advantages also it is there. See, whatever the latest technology, information communication technology, we have to adapt it, and we have to apply the tools in our subject. Then only we have to sustain in our subject, and we have to move with the latest development in the field of your subject. Or otherwise they feel that your subject still it is in the traditional area only. Still you are in the old age, or you are in the still traditional level, they feel that. So that's what even library and information science also is impacted by the information communication technology. Whatever the resources which they are planning to publish their articles, publish their books, put in the electronic format. I said before, you said that what are the e-prints, what are the post prints, preprints and post prints. You said, sir, before going to publish their data, put into the institutional repository, that we can say that preprints. After publication of the data, original content they are going to put into the institutional repository, we can say that post prints. This data is soft copy, that means we can say that it's a electronic form of the data, they are going to put into the institutional repository. The same thing, the resources which in the form of electronic resources, not in the form of physical copy, we cannot put into the physical copy into the institutional repository. The same thing, if the physical copy we are not digitized, or we can scan it, we can upload into the our institutional repository. But even though when that particular physical copy is going to scan, that particular physical copy is going to digitize, that we can say that it's not a physical copy, it is a digital document, it's the electronic document. The electronic document we are going to we are going to put into the institutional repository. That's what these particular institutional repositories are, how these electronic resources are helping print based, or we can say that electronic resources which is the comfortable to the nowadays user. So most of the user behavior, user attitude, they feel that electronic environment is convenient, all electronic resources are convenient to this. See, that's what, as per the Ranganathan fourth law. What is the Ranganathan fourth law? రంగనాథన్ ఫోర్త్ లా ఏంటిదండి? ఫైవ్ లాక్స్ తెలుసా అండి మీకు? ఫైవ్ లాక్స్ చెప్పండి ఎవరైనా. ఫైవ్ లాక్స్ తెలియదా అండి?
Books are for use అని
Are
every
for
book its reader అని.
reader.
Okay. Hmm.
Every reader his or her
Every
save,
reader his or her book.
save the time of the library is a
Hmm.
growing organism.
Save the time of the reader another is the fourth law of library science.
Yes, sir.
Same thing when particular user is coming to the library and accessing the resources, he or she is supposed to move that particular library and a particular place and access the physical book, and they have to check content, they have to read. That means it will take time. When come to the electronic resources, he will access the resources from his laptop, he access the resources from the internet, he access the resources from his palm top, access the resources from the handset. That means he save those particular time of those particular users. That we can say that as per the Ranganathan fourth law of library science, most of the people, their attitude, their feels that electronic resources are more convenient compared with the traditional resources, isn't it? You take example what we are doing. Actually, we are taking the classes from the mobile phones. What it is actually a mobile phone? Mobile phone, it's an instrument. If I am going to read one particular book from the mobile phone, or if one particular resources accessing from the internet, that electronic resources, isn't it? The same thing which we'll feel that today mobile is an instrument, but most of the data we are accessing from the online. And another one is compilation of the union catalog. These electronic resources, earlier we used to prepare each and every book, prepare every catalog. But after electronic resources came into the picture, union catalogs are facilitate cooperation and resource sharing among the partner libraries. Because the same book which we received, you supposed to take scholarly communication book I purchased. My library is located Hyderabad. Same thing, another library is located at Warangal, Nalgonda, Adilabad. These people also the same thing, they are going to purchase the same scholarly communication book. Earlier what they used to do, they used to prepare one particular catalog card for each and every library. But now it is not possible. Now it is no need to waste of those time. What happened if Hyderabad people prepared a union catalog, one particular catalog, remaining institutions they have a connectivity or they are going to put into the public domain. Remaining Hyderabad, Nalgonda, remaining Nalgonda, Warangal, Mahabubnagar people, they may access the this union catalog which is prepared by the Hyderabad people. So automatically they may access. They used to write their particular article. So that's what these electronic resources how he is helping means they prepare when they are going to prepare a union catalog or from the collection development and acquisition reaching to the students and evolving the library culture. Librarians are proactively pursuing new opportunity, increasing their value more than ever before. And there is two things. Is it possible to improve in the collection with the electronic resources, or it is going to decreasing the collection development? Electronic resources తోటి collection development అవుతుందా తగ్గుతుందా?
డెవలప్మెంట్ అవుతుంది సార్.
Tell me 2-3 things. మీరు చెప్పింది కరెక్టే. డెవలప్మెంట్ అవుతుంది బికాస్ ఎన్ నెంబర్ ఆఫ్ ఎలక్ట్రానిక్ రిసోర్సెస్ ఆర్ అవైలబుల్ ఇన్ ది మార్కెట్ అండ్ ది ఇంటర్నెట్. So you can show them the following resources are also we are having with our library. But simultaneously, what happened? Come to the challenges. What they feel that why we are purchasing unnecessarily new book. The electronic resources is available in the internet now. That you can take and you can access the resources. That means the management, the institution heads are not interested to purchase. That means not purchase means collection development it is not possible. When we are going to purchase, when we are going to add new resources to your library, that we can say that library is a growing organism. Collection development is required. But with these electronic resources, that's what some challenges, some facilities also it is there. And electronic resource management systems, having several vendors are providing integrated services. They are maintaining various softwares and strategies. And we when strategies means when we are having a number of consortiums are available in the market. You take example of the National Medical Library, ERMED Consortium, or Helinet Consortium, or we can say that Influminati is having Enlist Consortium. We are a member of, when we are going to member in that particular institution, we can access the 35,000 of the books from the Enlist, and nearly 3 lakhs of the electronic resources. You may access the resources. That means what we feel that we can show that at that time these number we are going to access, these number we are going to access the books and journals. But simultaneously what happened, we can show directly to the authorities, but it is not really collection development policy. It is not policy, it is not a actual policy, but it's a one type of said that these following resources we have, but electronic resources we cannot show them. It is a total collection of the resources our library is developing day by day. See, when you take the you take example of the consortium, you are the access the resources from the consortium within the stipulated period, 1 year or 2 year. When you are going to purchase one particular book, you can access, you have a you are owner for that particular book. You can use as per your requirements, but it is not in the consortium. We can use one particular year or particular stipulated period, how many days, how many years, how many months we take the subscription or membership from that particular institution, that we can access. But when we are going to purchase the physical instrument or physical document, you are whole sole owner of that. You can tear it, you can read it, you can keep it, you can store it in any place. But physical documents, institutional consortium, it is not possible. Of course, they have their own limitations, their possibilities, their profits, advantages, disadvantages also it is there. But I said that the same thing, every department or every discipline or every subject is impacted by the ICT. Come to the challenges. What are the challenges? I said collection development. Sometimes quality assessment of e-resources is more difficult than print resources. Quality assessment means I said you said pre-print resources before going to publish their data or book or journal. If they are keep into the public domain or electronic resources, sometimes that particular document it is having quality or not, we don't know. That's what quality assessment, we can't give any assurance. If the physical document come into the society, what they feel that before going to publish their book or journal or article, what they will do, 2-3 times edit, they will edit it. Is there any typographical messages or the errors are there? Is there any lacuna it is there? They will shows to the 2-3 people well expert or well excel in those particular field. But electronic resources, not that much of course not all, some I'm telling, not all, some documents it is may containing. That's what they said, some quality assessment is not possible comparing with the print material. And the new business models evaluated by the publisher, that's what I said, the ownership of the content. If the physical book is having, we have a owner for that particular content, but in electronic resources we are not the owner for that particular resources. Only some stipulated period we may access. After that too, what they will give, some 1 or 2 ports they will give, and then at a time we cannot use. And sometimes access also restriction for that. Sometimes abstract only they will give, not full text. So there are lacunas, challenges also it is there. And and you supposed to pay for the access the resources. Sometimes only librarians can access the resources. Sometimes what happened, only Indian people, Asian people, they may access. There is a limited edition for the Indian people, limited price for the Asian people, African people. They will, some restrictions may put into the by the publisher side, and like print resources which generally have a fixed pricing, and the cost of e-resources is variable. Sometimes it may increase, sometimes it may decrease. But most of the users having if they have electronic knowledge or electronic then the downloadable knowledge, they will enjoy. And as per the Indian scenario, we can say that 50-50, we can say that even uh, age old, I mean old age people, or we can say that children, they may not spend more time to access the electronic resources. Even children, age old people, and I mean old people, they may not spend more time on access the resources. They cannot read the resources because they have physical support, and their body support, and their age and all those things. It may not support to read the electronic book on the laptops and systems. And libraries who have strike balance between the print electronic collections. Sometimes you take example of the national institutions or state central library. Still they are maintaining equal print and electronic resources, and hybrid resources they are maintaining. And the cooperative purchase of the e-resources through the consortia is day by day increasing, and big deals are negotiated with the consortia where thousands of books and journals can be accessed, used. It could be a problem arriving the consciousness of the choice of resources, especially in the smaller libraries, is exactly because when we are going to join in the consortium, even big library paying that much of money, small library also is paying that much of money for the membership, because small library is having a small number people, they may access the limited resources. But big number big institutions, they have big resources, they have big numbers of the people, their resource, they are going to access the number of resources are many, I mean huge, we can say that. But we cannot say that these both institutions are same, because they are collecting, they are charging the same money. So how it is possible, how we can say that it's a justification? This is not right. So that's why now they have some challenges. And one more thing is, and the electronic resources, there is no specific uniform pricing. It is not there. And negotiations, we can say that some institutions, national level institutions, they are going to give good negotiations, but in a small institutions, they are not going to give, because they feel that our product is going to uh, purchased national institutions. That means they will say that he will market those particular data. What happened, our resources, you take example of the National Medical Library. They are going to give MD consult free to the National Medical Library. Tomorrow, they are going to, what they will do is, this particular publisher, what they will advertise is, my product is purchased by the National Medical Library. They will set in all the medical libraries, our product is purchased by the National Medical Library. Remaining private institutions, government institutions, what they feel that National Medical Library, the India's biggest medical library, they purchase. We are also supposed to do. Why don't we? The same thing. And now there is no specific pricing and uniformity, negotiable. Now depends on the institution, depends on the state. We can say that depends on the users. And also sometimes what happened, now depends on the user statistics also, we can bargain it. Even people, even the publishers, when they are going to hike their charges, hike their subscription rates, what they will do is, sir, this is the user statistics of your particular institutions. Last year 2000 people, 2000 document downloaded. This year 4,000 document downloaded. That means double resources you downloaded. So that's why we are increasing our prices. See how the techniques they are playing. Then another one is copyright and licensing. You take any book when we are going to use online and online, that we can say the electronic resources that today we are going to set consortium means all the publishers are take the permission of those particular document, take the permission of this particular author, they bargain with the amount, they bargain with the cooperation with those particular resources or copyright or publisher or author, whatever it may be. They are finally put into the public domain, I mean consortium models. So if the person, I and you are, it is not possible going to access the same copy from the, if it is available even online also, because you cannot copy the whole document of those particular document, because they have their own copyright. We cannot kill them. We cannot, whether we are going to access the total book means it's a crime. Some data we supposed to take. Some licensing systems also it is required. What is the license for the 10 journals, 20 journals, 30 journals in the modeling of the consortium models? They supposed to have some license, some bargain period. They will 6 months after see, suppose one particular article is published in the 2024 December, it will give in 2025 July onwards, because these 60 months we can say that embargo period. Some institutions they are giving, some publishers they are giving, giving abstract only, not full text. Some publishers are giving from 1990 before whatever the documents it will give free. Some publishers they are giving, in the pandemic period, 2000 before whatever the publishers, whatever the articles, books they given free. And some institutions, especially in the pandemic period, they provide all abstracts are free. So same thing, that we can say some restrictions, license models, or we can say that the negotiations between the publishers and institutions. So they have preservation styles and copyright and licensing, and we can say that most of the publishers impose restrictions, archiving subscribe the content. Sometimes what happened, some publishers are giving, they will say that print for this much of the money, online for this much of the money, both this much of the money. We can, what they will say, they are going to money, they are going to collect the money from the from the user side or from the library side, from the institution side. Ultimate thing is whatever the content producing from the publisher side, what their aim is marketing their resources and getting the money from the publishers and libraries and whatever it may be. So that's what they said, what they are planning is today or tomorrow, just you observe it, whatever the open access resources, it is all are free. Just you check green access, open access, green access, yellow access, and diamond access type of access it is there. What green it is means it's open to all access anything. Hello?
Full access, sir. Open to all.
Open to all?
Yes, sir. Green access, full open.
Full open. Full open here means what happened, when you are going to write an article, you supposed to pay the some money for article processing charges, that we can say that APC. And sometimes, these particular, whatever the open access articles are going to publish online, and they are going to give to the all users. What happened, today, whatever the free access resources, we are telling that it is not all are free. All or nobody will give you free. Somebody pay the money, isn't it? Somebody pay the money, and in that, just you check whatever the free access the resources. When you are going to access that particular resources, your email will reach to those particular advertisement people. Your mobile data is going to decreasing, and simultaneously your belongs to the library science. That means they will send tomorrow or day after tomorrow to your Gmail ID or whatever the mail ID you are accessing. That is, they will send to the number of advertisement to the your mail IDs, your personal data, and whatever it will be. Isn't it? It's not a free. We can say that whatever the data it is open access, that we can access it. That's a great thing. Everyone is supporting to the open access movement, but directly, indirectly, somebody is paying for that, isn't it? Somebody is paying for that. Indirectly or directly, those who paid for that access, those who paid for that particular resources, directly or indirectly, they are marketing their services, their goods. These all are strategies of those particular institutions. Not only um, uh, uh, you know in the publisher side, all are doing the same thing. So just I'm giving the reference, some idea to that, and meeting the challenges. What happened? What we have to do is content, condition of access, up, updatability, and longevity, and pricing models, usage statistics, technical characters, and quality of service. That's what content, whatever the content which is available for the electronic resources, that resources which is exactly that we can say that accurately is helping to the or useful to those particular person, or conditions of the access. Conditions of the access, I said, some publishers says that put into some conditions, restrictions. You can access the abstract only. You can access the embargo period only. You can access the only 1919 before resources you may access. Some publishers put only one portal you can access. It is not possible access simultaneously. Usually, national institutions, research institutions, what they will do is, if we are a member of a consortium, they'll give one username and password. That you can access one particular portal only you can access. Sometimes that particular institution people, what they will say is, they will ask, now give me 2 or more, or 5 usernames and password. That means 5 people they may access. Sometimes they will put a without restriction within the campus. Within the campus is based on the IP address, these people are going to access that particular institutional surroundings. We can say that access the n number of portal you may access. So if it is what they will do is, if it is really like huge statistics, a huge number of people are accessing the resources, or some days 1 month or 6 months, or what they will do is, sir, from your side, like more number of people are accessing the resources, so we are not giving the with the IP address based, we will give you only username passwords, 5 or 6 we will give you, not more than that. Because what happened, their server, their particular consortium server, or their particular publisher server, it is not possible to support. Or sometimes why unnecessarily will give free to them, we will quote more money to the for more access of resources for your particular institutions. That's what there are various type of restrictions and conditions they will put before going to access the resources. Consortium itself, we are agree with the terms and condition of those particular consortium management. I said, for the username and password and IP address, they will give sometimes, from the home site, an institutional name we can access. There are, there's various conditions they may put to the access to the resources. And another one is updatability. See, when we are going to join the uh, consortium, or we can say that in a publishing model, whatever the content is updating or not. If we joined in this particular consortium, every month they're supposed to if it is quarterly general, every quarter they're supposed to improve their increase their content, or monthly, every month supposed to be added, weekly, every week supposed to be added new content. That means updatability it is there or not, we have to check. And longevity, how long we can access the resources. You take example of the most of the medical resources, you may access the especially MD consult, especially British Medical Journal and cancer and American Journal of Surgery, British Journal of Surgery, or we can say that American Journal of Bone and Joint Surgery, British Journal of Bone and Joint Surgery. It is these journals you may access from the 1930 onwards. That's what longevity, how long resources, how long archives we can access. And pricing model, what are the pricing model for the institution, for the number of users? Sometimes they put into the 250 members we have. Now how much you are going to collect it, or for one particular institution, how much you are going to collect it. So some portal wide we can say that will be 3 or 4 portal we will give you, 3 or 4 usernames we will give you, how much you are going to collect it. And usage statistics, I said, based on the usage statistics also they will give, they will final the amount of the data. And usually I said 2 lakhs for the every year. Before last year we access the resources, nearly 30,000 access the resources. That means 2 years back, at the time 2 lakhs. And before last year also 2 lakhs for the 60,000 of the access resources we accessed. And last year 2 lakhs only we accessed the 1 lakh resources. This year also 2 lakhs rupees only we accessed 1,50,000. Next year what happened? Next year what happened? They will say that out of the last 3 years statistics they will show us, sir, since 3 and 4.5 years your statistics is doubling and tripling. So we are going to increase our plan, our price model to for your institutions. Technical characteristics and quality of services. Even though there are resources may available, sometimes what happened, technical error may arise, server may not work, and it will shows. Hello, what happened? Server may down, or sometimes we will get a lot of technical problems. So that type of problems also we have to consider before going to take the membership in the consortium. And in order to resources maximum, whether our faculty members and researchers, or we can say that academicians or scientists are going to maximum utilizing of those particular resources or not. And sometimes all the resources may not visible. I said that's what longevity and updatability. And while renewing the subscription also, e-resources librarians must whatever the when we are going to renewing the resources, we have to consider all the resources, whether updatability it is there or not, longevity it is there or not, and longevity and all the things we have to review. And the statistics also we have to review, whatever the quality resources. What happened, um, how many people just last time also said that we know the ONOS, we know the ONOS, one nation, one subscription. Does it worthy for the 2,000 crores for the ONOS? 2,000 కోట్ల రూపాయలు వర్దీ నాది? Why we are telling means, whatever the content, the government of India is paying 2000 crore rupees for that. Out of the, and in that 40% of the content is open. Why we are paying unnecessarily to the 40% of the data? Is it possible to pay the to 40% of that? It is already available in the free. Why we are paying for that? So that's what, who are going to say that this is free, this is paying, this is abstract is free, this is bibliography is free, and who are going to say that? The librarian is going to review for that, and he are going to say that, these resources already is free. Why we are paying the money? And these resources is not quality resources. Why we are paying the money? And these resources is, not up to the mark. Why we are paying the money? Who are going to say that? The librarian is going to say that, or otherwise the faculty members is going to say that. Sometimes what happened, whatever the resources which you have in the consortium, in a small library or big library, whatever it may be, even 30 to 20% of the journals are not related to you, even though you're supposed to take. If you are interested, you can. If you are not interested, let it be. So that's what who are going to review means. The librarian is going to review that. So these all considerations are supposed to take, because always you means library and the information science professionals. What happened, he supposed to on a contact with the those particular academicians, how the resources, whether it is updatability, whether it is having current content, it is visibility or not, whatever the technical problems you are arising, whether they are going to fulfill it or not. Is there any other requirement for that? Is there any up to the mark of those particular journals? And everything we have to take the feedback from the users, and users means here who I said, faculty members, researchers, and the libraries, students, and all those things. We have to take the feedback, and simultaneously we have to review them. The review them is nothing that we have to cross verify. See, we are paying 2 lakhs rupees for the this thing consortium. If in that we are paying every year 2 lakhs rupees for that, not even every month 50 people are not going to access. 50 into 12. I mean, 600 people not even access your resources. What is the use? Why we are paying the 2 lakhs rupees for that? 1 year we can review it. Next time you can say this, to the management, no need to pay 2 lakhs rupees for that, because our people are not accessing the resources. It is not up to the mark, because our people, because that resources may not fit to the our framework or fit to the our faculty members. You ask them, is there any better consortium it is there? We'll move for that. A review and cross verification is mandatory for the library and information science professionals, not only for this consortium, for the library software and digital library software and anything. It is mandatory. Why? Because the feedback, it shows that the status, the working style, and what are the lacunas is having in your services. Also we can take the feedback from these particular following users. Then only we can say that we will improve, we will improve our quality. We will provide the quality of services to the users, quality of services to the faculty members. So finally what happened, quality of product will come by your services only. Sir, how it is possible? I'll tell you. When one particular researcher, that particular researcher are from your institutions. You take example of you are working with the CCMB IICT, isn't it? He is going to discover the new product, or we can say that a new drug. So what happened, before going to start his research work, he will find the earlier works. Who are going to give the source to the earlier works? Librarian is going to give the earlier works source, or earlier works data he is going to give. And simultaneously, whatever the work is going on the same area and around the world, the data also is going to give to the that particular researcher by the libraries. By the libraries is nothing but the library, isn't it? Another one is the quality of the resources when we are going to provide. He will do the research. Later, he will discover the quality of drug for the society. So quality where it will start? It start from the gathering the quality of the resources. We are preserving, we are storing, disseminating to the those who really require that quality of the resources. We are going to give the quality of resources to the quality of the person. Finally, he will discover the quality of the research, quality of the drug or whatever it may be. So this is, we can say that we are the backbone of those particular discovery. So tomorrow, day after tomorrow, what they will do is, they of course directly they may not say it, but indirectly he knows the data we received from the so and so librarian. Isn't it? One product will come out means with a combination of the all the works. It's not possible from the one particular person. So we are also part and parcel of that success. That what we have to do means review is mandatory, cross verification is mandatory. What is the statistics rate? What is the content, visibility, updatability, quality, and longevity, and we can technical errors. It is with a fraction of second we supposed to provide the proper information to the proper reader. So there are n number of problems also it is there in the consortium. But ultimately, one thing I can say that electronic resources is nowadays is one of the prominent resources to the any users. Uh, in various formats they are asking for their academic purpose, research purpose, for the examination purpose, whatever it may be. We are the provider for that. We supposed to provide the quality of resources to the users. So in the class, do you have any doubt? You can pose the questions also. I'll try to give the answers.
Sir, explain embargo period, sir.
Embargo period is nothing but the specific period which is mentioned by the publisher. In that particular period onwards, they are going to give the free. Suppose I said that this particular document is published in the month of December 2024, but directly from tomorrow onwards, these particular publishers are not going to give free open access. After 6 months, that's what I said. These 6 months we can say that embargo period. After 6 months, they will give you free for those particular document. That means every document which is published after 6 months, it is available open access. That we can say that embargo period.
Sir,
చెప్పండి.
in cataloging, mark and AARC2 are same, sir?
AACR2 యొక్క ఫైన్ వర్షన్ మార్క్. ఇప్పుడు మార్క్ కూడా పోయి ఇంకో కొత్త వర్షన్ వచ్చింది. ఆ కొత్త వర్షన్ తో పోయి ఇంకో కొత్త వర్షన్ వచ్చింది. See that's what said information communication technology is going to give enormous changes in all the fields. అదొక లైబ్రరీ సైన్స్ అనే చెప్పాలండి, అన్ని ఫీల్డ్ల మీద ఎఫెక్ట్ చూపించింది. సో యాజ్ పర్ ది changes, as per the developments in the communication technology, we are also on par with ICT we supposed to move. So antendukaya, just big data is how many people knows in the graduate level? They don't know, because today in the engineering students are mostly preferable subject. We can say that the big data, blockchain technology, machine learning, and many things today we are telling, but that we are learning in the age of degree only. Why we know means this is the period we supposed to know. Then only tomorrow we are going to provide the quality services to the users. ఇంకా
సార్ బిఫోర్ మార్క్ కార్డ్ సిస్టమ్ లో ఎట్లా ఉండేది సార్ క్యాటలాగింగ్ అంటే?
ట్రిపుల్ సి ACR1 ACR2 అని చాలా క్యాటలాగ్ కోడ్స్ ఉన్నాయి. ట్రిపుల్స్ ఉన్న కొరియన్ క్లాసిఫైడ్ క్యాటలాగ్ కోడ్, దాని తర్వాత క్లాసిఫైడ్ క్యాటలాగ్ కోడ్, దాని తర్వాత అమెరికన్ ఆంగ్లో అమెరికన్ క్యాటలాగ్ రూల్స్ 1 and 2 అనేటువంటివి ఉండే. దాంట్లో వేరియస్ టైప్స్ సబ్జెక్ట్కి ఎట్లా రాయాలి, మన జర్నల్స్కి ఎట్లా రాయాలి, పుస్తకాలకు ఎట్లా రాయాలి, కార్పొరేట్ బాడీస్కి ఎట్లా రాయాలి, గవర్నమెంట్ ఇన్స్టిట్యూషన్స్కి ఎట్లా రాయాలి అని ఒక స్పెసిఫిక్ స్టైల్ ఉండేది. దట్స్ ఎ టోటల్లీ ట్రెడిషనల్ స్టైల్. సో ఇప్పుడు నౌ యూ నో నీడ్ టు write and all those things. You can access the resources which is from the union catalog. లైబ్రరీ ఆఫ్ కాంగ్రెస్ ఉండింది, లేకపోతే ఇండియాకి సంబంధించినటువంటి ఇన్స్టాక్ వాళ్ళు ఒక క్యాటలాగ్ ఉంది. దట్ యూ కెన్ యాక్సెస్ ది క్యాటలాగ్ ఫ్రమ్ దోస్ పర్టికులర్ ఏరియా. ఒక ఇప్పుడు లైబ్రేరియన్ ఎర్లియర్ హీ యూస్ టు వర్క్ ఈచ్ అండ్ ఎవ్రీ వన్. నౌ ఈస్ వెరీ స్మార్ట్ హౌ టు యాక్సెస్, వేర్ ఇట్ ఈస్, సోర్స్ దొరికించుకోవాలా, దట్ వీ హ్యావ్ టు యాక్సెస్ ఇట్. ఇంకా ఎనీథింగ్ ఎల్స్? చెప్పట్లేరు మీరు.
గ్రీన్ యాక్సెస్, ఎల్లో యాక్సెస్ అంటే ఏంటి?
గ్రీన్ యాక్సెస్ అంటే మీరే చెప్పారు, అంటే సంబడి సెట్ ఒక ఆర్టికల్ ను పబ్లిష్ చేసిన we supposed to pay for the APC charges, and it will give for the publication side ఏమన్నా we supposed to pay, or suppose we access side అని we supposed to pay. Green access లో no need to pay to publication of your document, and simultaneously other party also, those who are accessing, no need to pay. గోల్డ్ యాక్సెస్, గ్రీన్ యాక్సెస్ అట్లా కొన్ని ఉన్నాయి. అవి యాక్సెస్ స్టైల్స్ ఉంటాయి. మీరు ఆ కామన్ ఇంకొకటి కూడా దీంట్లో క్రియేటివ్ కామన్స్ అనేవి, ఇవన్నీ కాపీరైట్ స్టైల్స్. సరే ఒకటేసారి మీకు చెప్తే అర్థం కాదు, బట్ స్టిల్ ఈ ఓపెన్ యాక్సెస్ లో ఉన్నటువంటి స్టైల్స్, ఐ సెడ్ సమ్ ఎంబార్గో పీరియడ్, some little bit when we are going to publish our article, we are supposed to pay. Other side people, they access free, and sometimes we supposed to publish our article online free, and other people may access, so to pay the access the resources. So there is various type of accessing styles are there. Here what we have to do is, the only thing is, when we are going to say that these particular resources is open, always we are telling that before going to say that is it really open, that we have to know how, where, and we can say that green, gold and diamond and various open access styles it is there. Usually, and most of the people, we can say that gold access, it is all are free. Green, it is not like that. So that's what I'll tell you in another class exclusive for the open access styles only. If we will get, if you don't have a time to from the Ambedkar, that you 10 to 15 members you can assemble one particular day, give me the time, and I'll tell you what are the access styles and all those things. Even 3 to 4 members also, I'll give you on there is no issue for that. హైబ్రిడ్ అంటే తెలుసా అండి? హైబ్రిడ్ ఓపెన్ యాక్సెస్ అంటే hybrid open access ante some journals it is containing print and some journals it is open, that we can say that hybrid open access. Hybrid ante cheppandi.
Both in print and electronic, sir.
That's good. ఇంకా
నేషనల్ డిజిటల్ లైబ్రరీ వెబ్సైట్ లోకి వెళ్ళినప్పుడు ఆయన రికార్డ్ సెర్చ్ చేస్తే అక్కడ చూపిస్తుంది, కానీ దాన్ని యాక్సెస్ చేద్దాము అని అంటే అది ఓపెన్ అవ్వట్లేదు. అంటే ఎక్కడ రాంగ్ చేస్తున్నాం సార్?
ఇక్కడ రాంగ్ కాదు, అక్కడ ఏంటంటే
సార్
there is a
క్లాస్ స్టార్ట్ అయింది సార్, నెక్స్ట్ క్లాస్
స్టార్ట్ అయిందా? Okay.
స్టార్ట్ అయింది సార్.
ఓకే థ్యాంక్ యూ బాయ్.
ఓకే సార్.